You can watch us live on Facebook. And now we have our guest as well, Hank the Hacker, with us right now. Hello, Hank. How are you?
Hey, man. How are you doing?
Hi, Hank.
Good to have you again. So what's happening these days?
Not too much. Thanks for having me. And just same old as usual, just walking into, I guess, what we call Hacked November. And you know, we're the second day in now, and we've seen already the healthcare system in Newfoundland get
That's
hacked.
right.
Yeah. So tell us more about it. Like, lots of people don't know exactly what cyber attack is.
So in this case, I think what we're kind of assuming is that they got hit with ransomware, but it's kind of hard to tell right now.
Okay.
But I know from experience that any kind of like health services worker right now is going to be a pretty prime target for phishing attacks. And
so, you know, like I believe it was a Saturday when they found out like they don't have access to the email and everything. So because, you know, just as a normal human being, so we do get some like, you know, text messages, WhatsApp messages, or emails, or on social media as well, like, you know, please click on the link, you won this, you win this, you win this. So do you think one of those cases probably with, you know, with these people?
It could be that, but it could be something that's even like more specially crafted. So sometimes, and especially if you're dealing with, you know, a more complex team, that in the, you know, speaking about the bad actor, you can run into where, you know, they're learning about their target and finding personal information and then echoing that in their campaign. So, you know, sometimes the targets or the victims in these cases, you know, they're kind of, they click before they have a chance to think about it. And I think of a term coined by Dr. Daniel Goleman in the 80s, amygdala hijacking. And that's where someone kind of makes a decision before the rest of their brain has any time to step in.
So how is it going to affect, is it going to affect our doctors, nurses, the administrative system, or the patients? How much effect is going to this is going to create on everyone?
Well, it's subjective depending on the case, but like with yesterday's attack, you know, they're down to just using paper, so everything is on paper now, and they've had to cancel like a ton of appointments. And you know, you can imagine if this hit somewhere else in Canada, you know, it might be a little bit different, but the result is generally going to look the same. And for cyber criminals, health resources tend to be a pretty prime target again, not only because of the whole controversy behind, you know, the vaccines and everything, but just the data that they hold and the willingness from them to pay a ransomware really quickly.
So, like, do you know what's the latest right now? You do you know what happened today? Any idea?
I think that one of their supply chains were hit. Like I kind of feel like, because they're served by Bell Valiant, I think, and that's the kind of Atlantic side of Bell, but it was one of their data centers that went down and kind of forced everyone into a confusion and forced them onto doing things with paper. So I think like even some people that are, you know, fairly high up in that scene, I think even they were confused and didn't know what happened. So it kind of makes me lean towards possibly a Bell data center, or an internal employee just got hit and they turned things off.
My God.
Yeah. So what do you think? How long it's going to take everything getting back to normal?
Again, it's subjective. They say that their local backups are like still in place, so you know it could only be a matter of days. But you know, it does kind of bring the question, how long will it be? And if they were hit worse, or if they, you know, if you know, God forbid, there's a service out there that's not taking backups constantly, then and hopefully they are taking backups, but then it could take even longer than days or weeks.
Yeah. So you know, once the cyber attack, and of course, you know, they got all the data, and let's say I don't want to, like, you know, let's say I don't want to pay any like ransom. So what do they do with your data? I believe, and plus, what is a dark web or dark world? What is that? Where they sell everything.
I'm not sure if they got any data in this case, but generally speaking, they'll usually take the data for hostage, or they'll try and encrypt it to stop them from accessing it. But then you see a point where, and especially if they didn't kind of cooperate or pay the ransom, you see the data get sold or traded on the dark web, and it's kind of like the hidden section of the internet, where you have illegal trade and, you know, things like that. And it's generally up to 3 years before you even realize that your information was leaked, because it hasn't been saturated or sold enough yet.
So that means it's going to affect all everybody in the whole system, right?
It depends what really happened and the bigger scope of it. I think that it shows all the hallmarks of a ransomware attack, but we'll see in the coming days and probably a couple weeks here what's really going to happen with their investigation and I guess post-investigation for the incident response.
Yeah, I hope other provinces get alert by this and you know, like have more security system placed in.
Oh yeah, I think it speaks well to like putting more awareness on security, and maybe even increasing budgets when it comes to security, because even their head of security said they work on a shoestring budget. So you know, it speaks well on how companies and especially like critical infrastructure like a health service should be putting a little more money or a little more budget or thought into their budget for cybersecurity.
That's right. That's right. It's
and then, you know, I heard you like in talking about the Portpass. So what is the update on like in Portpass? I believe Portpass is the one who are dealing with the Calgary Flames and Stampeders. So it's like a QR code you can just scan on the app, and like, you know, it shows if you're vaccinated or no. Any update on that?
The idea was just kind of an app that makes it easier to, you know, show your information for your vaccine passport and identification, but it was actually exposing everyone's information in the back end. So anyone who used the app could actually see, you know, all the private or personal information that was on that app. And I think it was thousands of users, but the guy said he fixed it. Everyone proved that he didn't, and now I think last thing I heard from the developer is that he's shutting it down.
Wow.
I believe it was the first weekend. I think he's got about 600,000 record on it, like the people on it.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, so sad. Like, you know, this is a blessing, social media and all that is a blessing, but at the same time, you know, like if you are not careful, it becomes a curse then, you know. That,
absolutely.
Yeah, that is so sad, you know.
So, you know, like, of course, you know, social media, it's like, you know, you can take a benefit from that, and of course you can take disadvantages as well, because you can learn how to make like you know, viruses now. Is that right?
Oh yeah, and you know, there's even like people offer services for developing malware, and there's even like AI-assisted malware development now, where you don't really even need to know how to program. You can kind of like ask it to develop what you want.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then, as a like, you know, general public, what do we do? Like, we are so scared to even click on something now these days.
I think that generally, put yourself at an advantage. It's just best to keep aware, and if you ever find the opportunity to attend any training, Retrain Canada is offering training classes as well for cybersecurity, and just training and awareness. Kind of make sure that you're kind of kept abreast of all the latest attacks that are happening, and if not even that, but using two-factor authentication or changing your passwords every so often will keep you a little bit at an advantage, as if you weren't doing it.
Yeah. So what do you think about this this new series which has come up called Squid Games? Like, is it going to make things worse for, like the kids are watching it and they're coming up with these things? What do you say about it? Have you watched anything?
And I think as time moves on, we're relying a little more on like specifically Internet of Things, even like smart devices and whatever. But I was talking the other day with a friend about how people are starting to value their digital presence and digital assets more than they do their physical real life assets or presence. Yeah.
So, what do you say? Because I think, last time when you were on, and now the Fatima Qasim telling me, like in comment the same thing, to kind of the two-factor, authentication. But now we have so many accounts, like we have all kinds of apps. So how many password do we keep? Like, of course, we won't remember everything.
I try not to reuse passwords. I think that it's good to develop kind of a habit of using a different password for everything, or try and use like kind of a passphrase and choose different passwords for different platforms or different services that you're using.
I think that's as important just for your own security to do that. But in health system, they are always asking to change their passwords every so often. Yeah, so like my husband is a physician, and every time I want to use the computer, and he's been asked to change the password because they are being very careful now. Yeah.
Yep. Even Chrome is warning users if they've got like a compromised password. I thought that was interesting.
So I think last time when you came to studio, we talked about the password. I believe the Microsoft, they're going to delete the password, forever, and then it's going to be kind of the face recognition. I think it's going to be better. You think it's coming soon?
I know that Microsoft wants to favor using kind of biometrics instead of a password to log in, but I think that'll come with its own kind of speed bumps and caveats with itself. Like every time we introduce a new technology, you see hackers especially kind of jump on it and do their best to break something. So I think it'll be another kind of cat and mouse game with research and development.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So Hank, what's your company name again?
We're Solve Cyber Solutions. So we rebranded recently from Centurion Cyber Defense to Solve Cyber Solutions, and then Retrain Canada is the training side of the company.
Okay, and if anyone kind of interested to for the training, where do they go?
Check out Retrain Canada. They're even offering some free courses right now with reemployment and retraining. So definitely worth checking it out, especially right now because of the new offerings that they have.
Right.
Yeah, I think that would be really good if people take that training and and save themselves from so many of these things happening.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you are right.
Thank you so much, my friend.
It was so nice talking to you, and we learned a lot, and I hope our listeners and viewers also learned. And it's good to know all these things because so much is happening out there. So thank you once again, and it was really nice talking to you, and all the best to you, and I hope people come for training and get accustomed to what is happening.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I look forward to it, and
Okay.
thanks for having me on the show.
Anytime.
Or I will talk soon again. Thanks,
Yeah.
Hank.
Thank you.
Yes,
Take
sir.
care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.